Step aside, Lovecraft Country. You have a group of people taking on the fantastical, the horrific, and the macabre on a weekly basis, once again on HBO. But unlike Lovecraft Country, 30 Coins chooses to deliver thrills instead of sermons, chills instead of cringy moments of long discourse, and nightmares instead of politics. The fallible heroes of 30 Coins may not make it to the cover of all of the magazines like Lovecraft Country did, but they are much more developed, interesting, and more importantly, human. On top of that, I think 30 Coins is finally going to be the thing that puts Álex de la Iglesia, a director I've been following since 1997's Perdita Durango, on the map as one of the most exciting directors in horror right now. Welcome back to ML Miller Frights, a part of the Kings of Horror Network. I'm ML Miller. While you might be watching this video on the Kings of Horror Network, I urge you to click over to my ML Miller Frights YouTube page and give it a like. Please share with all of your buddies. Click subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to ring that bell for notifications. 30 Coins is a new series streaming weekly on HBO MAX. We're going to look at the first 3 episodes here. It's directed by Álex de la Iglesia and written by Jorge Guerricaechevarría and Álex de la Iglesia. 30 Coins is an expansive tale that crosses time, continents, and cultures. From the stylized opener, filled with gory slow-mo shots of the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, we come to understand that the coinage the title is talking about is the amount of money Judas was given to betray his master. It seems a secret cabal of priests are after these coins, and they're willing to commit many sins to collect them all. A bloody and bullet-filled opener confirms this as a man enters a bank, takes out the guards, receives multiple shots to the chest without falling, and is able to retrieve a coin from a vault and finally escape into broad daylight without dying. These electrifying moments are reminiscent of the daytime robbery from De la Iglesia's Witching and Bitching, but still, they thrill nevertheless. The cast De la Iglesia has assembled is fantastic. Though I was distracted by his resemblance to Mandy Patinkin at first, Eduardo Fernandez is the rock 30 Coins is built on as Father Vergara, a priest who was exiled from his parish due to a botched exorcism that resulted in the death of a child. I know that origin story is a bit cliched, as is Vergara's penchant to sweatily punch at a heavy bag, but it all feels genuine given the stone face and weathered look of Fernandez. He is wise beyond his years in terms of ancient religious lore, but he is also burdened with guilt, making him a fallible yet solid lead to take on all of these horrors. Reluctantly joining Father Vergara in this fight is small-town veterinarian Elena, played by Megan Montaner. She is roped into this mess when she is called in to help in a troubled delivery of a cow's calf, which turns out to be a human baby. Desperate for answers as to whether this is a hoax or a miracle, Elena is driven to find the truth. Though she could use a little less eyeliner, Montaner is strong in this role, diving headfirst into the fight, but still able to show her vulnerabilities as her husband disappeared without a trace and she was left with the shame and guilt of not knowing how or why. Rounding out the trio of spooky investigators in this small town is the mayor, Paco, played by Miguel Ángel Silvestre. A rugged man of action, evidenced by his lack of a shirt burdening his carved abs, for the ladies you know. Paco is burdened with the responsibility of representing the entire town and attempting to assure the suspicious and heavily religious Spanish community that everything is hunky-dory. Despite the fact that his politics-savvy wife, Merche, played by Witching and Bitching's Macarena Gomez, urges him not to get involved in these supernatural adventures, Paco cannot overcome the urges to protect the community in any way he can with great sacrifice to his own well-being and health. Each of the 3 episodes have other characters, but these 3 are the heart of it all and appear in every episode so far. They have a relationship built on common interests, but don't trust one another fully, especially after the horrifying events of the first episode. I found it interesting and a bit comical the way Mayor Paco seems to be the first to show up at every crime committed in the town. Paco justifies it by saying that the people need to be reassured of his investment in the community, but still, seeing this much involvement by the local government stretches the limits of believability. What is made abundantly clear is that despite his love for his wife, Paco is attracted to Elena, and though they go their separate ways in the first episode, Paco and Elena call each other first when something new and crazy happens. The relationship between Paco and Elena starts off as professional, but their chemistry is what leads them back to one another, and that will they or won't they aesthetic that fueled quite a few moonlighting seasons really works here. Reminiscent of X-Files as well as Lovecraft Country, there is a bigger conspiracy that dates back ages at work here. Seeing these three people getting closer to the truth as dark forces swirl around them is a common thread that has supported many a horror series. Given the common knowledge of the biblical roots of 30 coins, it makes for an easy story to slip into. The supernatural horrors that are going on ties to the story of Christ and makes this epic battle that's been building for centuries hefty and resonant. Episode 1 is entitled Cobwebs, and it's an absolute barn burner from beginning to end. The pace is relentless as Father Vergara, Elena, and Paco scramble to get to the bottom of the mysterious, miraculous cow baby. While establishing the importance of the coins, the episode also contains some amazing horror reminiscent of the best of Cronenberg and Lovecraft as the baby grows and morphs into something absolutely unnatural. The pace of the first episode of 30 Coins is relentless from beginning to end. It takes place over the course of 3 days, but by the end of this extended hour and 20-minute episode, I was left absolutely breathless, aghast at how much action, horror, and suspense De La Iglesia was able to inject into this single episode. Suicides, monsters, creepy babies, secret societies, a priest hitting a punching bag, a cow giving birth to a human baby. These are all but a sampling of the odd details that make up this addictively riveting series that relies on character, shock, and story to propel it, which proved to be much more entertaining than the racially charged politics going on with Lovecraft Country. The episode is so full of surprises, thrilling sequences, and sights you won't see anywhere. It seamlessly blends psychological, religious, and body horror with fantastic effects, wonderful twists, and characters worth investing in, culminating into a grand climax incorporating some great CG and pulse-pounding tension. While the final moments are rather contrived as it involves a phone call that gets through at the last moment with just the right information needed in order to survive, I was willing to forgive this storytelling blip because of the spectacular hour and 20 minutes that occurred before it. Episode 2 is a much more subdued and intimate story about a young girl who goes missing when a group of kids gather to play with a Ouija board. When the girl returns, she seems different and gains the ability to see the aura of people who are about to die. We get more about Elena's past involving her own experiences with a Ouija board and some revelations that tie the spirit the kids communicated with and the boy who died during Father Vergara's exorcism. This episode, entitled Ouija, is much more sedate and patient compared to the first roller coaster episode. And I think it was smart to pair it to be released on the same night to show the range of episodes to expect from this series. Light on effects, Ouija relies on some great tension as the evil forces begin to descend upon Elena and Father Vergara to find the coin, not caring who or what gets in their way to achieve their goal. Episode 3 is called The Mirror, another installment I'd call slow compared to the first episode, but filled with character building and subtle scares. If I have a criticism for the series, it's that the charge out of the gate was so bombastic and wild that it makes these subsequent episodes seem tame in comparison. That doesn't mean they're bad. This episode also begins with a bloody robbery of another coin before settling back to Vergara, Elena, and Paco, investigating a cursed mirror that shows things in the reflection that aren't there in real life. What transpires feels a little bit of Oculus by way of The Exorcist. We find out more about this secret cabal of priests called the Cainites, who believe everything done under God, even sin, is blessed. So they have no compunctions to doing horrific things in order to attain their goal. And their goal is to collect artifacts that took Christ down, such as the crown of thorns, the spikes used to attach him to the cross, the spear used to pierce his side, and the coins used to sell him out. Now that the origin of what the coins are, as if you didn't get that from the crucifixion intro repeated at the beginning of each episode, Elena must decide what to do with the coin she has. By the By the end of this episode, after battling a mirror version of Father Vergara, she does just that, which will most definitely lead to more craziness next time in the 4th episode. The 4th episode will be halfway through this series, and hopefully will be another shock-filled episode, more like the first one. After 2 slow burner episodes, we need another adrenaline-fueled segment to keep the momentum running, I think. HBO Max has one of the strongest horror series going on right now that they've ever had. I can't wait to see how this series pans out, and most likely we'll be doing another review soon looking at the next batch of episodes of this 8-episode series. I always knew Álex de la Iglesia had what it takes to deliver big-time thrills and chills. It's all evident here, and I hope this series leads to de la Iglesia taking horror to an even grander scale next time. These first 3 episodes of 30 Coins are the perfect introduction to a truly unpredictable and exciting new world of horror, action, and sheer electrifying entertainment. That'll be it for today. Please chime in the comments down below and let me know what you think of this video. How on the nose or mind-numbingly wrong I am, or you can counter with your own review. If you like this video, please pound that thumbs up button. Share this video with your social media addicted pals. If you're looking for written reviews, you can find them on mlmillerwrites.com. Don't forget I have 2 new horror comic book trade paperbacks you should look for. Both GRAVETRANCERS and Pirouette, collecting never-before-published issues, can be found in only the finest of comic book stores right now. And be sure to subscribe to this channel and ring that bell for alerts to be the first to see my future videos. Thanks so much for your time, and take care.
You're doomed to live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside your reality. You're doomed. Oh, you're doomed. You're doomed. You're doomed. Live the life that you are meant to be. Live inside.